The film begins by showing the Horsemen, who are part of the eye magic community, waiting for their next mission from the community. Their job is to expose evil individuals. Dylan leads the Horsemen, but Daniel doubts his leadership. Daniel contacts the eye community and ventures into a strange tunnel he believes is the eye community's center, but only hears a voice there. Dylan, revealed as an FBI agent, leads the Horsemen, but one colleague suspects him of supporting them, hindering the Horseman case. Dylan convinces his boss to let him pursue the Horsemen in New York, but he plans to complete his secret mission instead. Dylan instructs the Horsemen to expose a software company owner misusing personal data at a conference. With Dylan's help, they control the conference, but a man they're trying to expose sabotages their plan, revealing their secrets. Dylan is exposed as their leader, leading the FBI to arrest him, but he escapes using magic. The Horsemen's plan to escape to the US goes awry, and they end up in China, where Merritt's brother Chase reveals he hypnotized them to bring them there for a businessman. Chase then takes them to meet the businessman. Walter reveals how they ended up there. He explains that he tricked Daniel into believing he was talking to the eye community, but it was actually Walter. He manipulated Daniel during their conversation in the tunnel. Walter also admits to orchestrating the businessman's exposure at the Octa conference for personal reasons. He reveals that the tube they traveled in was his doing, and the Horsemen were hypnotized by Chase while in the tube, causing them to faint for 2 days. As Walter brings them to the US, he presents them with 2 options: work for him or face death. If they choose to work, they must steal a chip created by Walter's rival, which can hack into worldwide computer data. Walter provides them with the chip's details and tasks them with stealing it. Meanwhile, Dylan, now in China with Thaddeus, discovers his father's magical instruments and receives his father's watch from a woman. Thaddeus disappears mysteriously. Back with the Horsemen, they prepare for their mission. Merritt hypnotizes the person responsible for transporting the chip to his boss. Using this person, the Horsemen gain access to the data center, posing as researchers. The data center manager guides them to the chip, and they bypass the metal detector to reach it. To get past the metal detector, they have to carry the chip with them. Jack attempts to go through the detector, but it alarms, so he surrenders his wallet and manages to pass. When the manager talks about the chip, Merritt fakes an allergic reaction, creating a distraction. While everyone's attention is on Merritt, Jack swiftly takes the chip. Although Jack returns and stands innocently, the manager becomes suspicious and orders a check. They pass the chip among themselves during the inspection, fooling the manager. Merritt ends up with the chip. While the others pass through the metal detector, Merritt stays clear. Jack cleverly asks for his wallet back, causing a distraction so Merritt can pass without setting off the alarm. Merritt discreetly passes the chip to Lula, and they slip away unnoticed. After stealing the chip, Daniel waits him on Market to meet the eye community members to hand over the chip. Dylan arrives, and Daniel pretends they're upset with him for not contacting or helping them. Walter shows up, revealing that he orchestrated the chip theft by pretending to be the eye community. Dylan arrives and pretends to take the chip from Daniel, but Walter's people are onto him. While Dylan fights alone, Chase arrives and hypnotizes Dylan, causing him to fall asleep. Dylan is then taken to Walter, who is revealed to be Arthur's son, seeking revenge for his father's ruin by the Horsemen. Dylan is submerged in water in a container, reminiscent of his father's box. Remembering his father's watch, Dylan finds a pin inside it, which helps him open the box before losing consciousness due to the water. The Horsemen eventually rescue Dylan. On another front, it's revealed that Thaddeus and Arthur orchestrated Dylan's predicament to expose the Horsemen. Thaddeus tricks Dylan and frees himself. Returning to the magic shop where they bought their supplies, they find out the owners are also magicians and members of the eye community. They plan to expose Walter and Arthur by announcing their next show in London on YouTube. Walter, unaware that the chip he obtained from Dylan was fake, prepares for London and aims to acquire the real chip from Daniel. Both the FBI and Walter track the Horsemen's movements. Walter locates Merritt and sends Chase to him to learn their plans through hypnotism. Chase attempts to extract information from his brother Merritt, but Merritt pushes him, causing a commotion. This alerts the Horsemen that Walter is aware of their plan. They adjust their plan, intending to escape on bikes, but encounter a problem when Merritt reveals he can't ride a bike. Before they can flee, they're apprehended by Walter's associates and transported onto a jet plane. On the plane, Arthur demands the chip from Daniel, who reluctantly hands it over to save his companions. With the chip secured, Walter ponders their fate, and Chase suggests throwing them out of the plane. Arthur and Walter celebrate their success, but Arthur notices something odd on a wine bottle label: the word "fool." Suddenly, the plane's engine fails, causing panic among Arthur and Walter. As they prepare to eject the Horsemen from the plane, the Horsemen reveal they've actually captured Walter and Arthur. They also disclose that the plane never took off; it was all part of their plan. Merritt explains they rigged the container with a system to simulate takeoff. Additionally, they unveil the identity of the mysterious man, Jack, who had hypnotized Chase into suggesting throwing them from the plane. As the FBI arrives, they arrest Arthur, Walter, and Chase. However, when they attempt to apprehend the Horsemen, they vanish. Dylan's boss, admiring Dylan's unique thinking, confronts him about his criminal actions. Dylan acknowledges his wrongdoing but leaves his boss with the original chip, indicating his commitment to doing good. The Horsemen head to the iCommunity Center, where the owners of the magic shop welcome them. In a surprising revelation, Dylan learns that his father was also a member of the iCommunity, and Thaddeus was his friend, not his enemy. They collaborated to maintain their cover, with one performing magic and the other exposing it, ensuring their friendship remained unquestioned. Thaddeus expresses his desire to retire from his role and names Dylan as his successor as the head of the iCommunity. The Horsemen realize the truth behind the game. They encounter the data center manager, who also turns out to be an iCommunity member. Thaddeus leads them to a room with many stairs, hinting at their journey ahead. The film concludes with the display of the iCommunity symbol, signaling the beginning of a new chapter for Dylan and the Horsemen. Thank you for watching and make sure to subscribe.